This is Pure Metal of Gods. I'm Den Cartwright, and I'm here with Tommy Stewart. Once again, today we're going to be talking about his record label, Black Doomba Record, and what goes into his label, working around, scheduling, touring, and what does it take for a band to be successful in today's age?
I have theories and I have experiments and I have experience that this seems to work and whatever, but I don't think it's an ever-changing music business. So what's happening now that might work, it depends on so many factors. Because here's the thing, it could have to do with your genre also. What works for a new metal band in Australia, see, geographical location comes into it. What might work for a new metal band in Australia doesn't work maybe for a doom metal band in the United States, or on one side of the United States even. You could really break it down like accents or something.
Well,
But,
let me
but
ask you, or let me say this. You know, Jeff Dunn from Venom. Am I
yeah, yes,
okay? Jeff said it like this: he would hate to be in a band in today's age in the music industry because it is so hard. I agree with that. What
it's
about you?
a lot more bands than there used to be, and a lot more. Everybody has access. I mean, even getting into the studio to make an album, say in '85 or even '95 or whatever, it was a big deal that you even got to go into the studio because the studios were so expensive, and you didn't do your own stuff. So, like when Hallows Eve did the Monument album and recorded it at the end of '87, it came out in '88. Um, it was $500 a day to even be in the studio, and that's in 1988 money. So it's like if that was the way it was today, it'd be like $1,500 a day, and we made the album over the course of 9 weeks. So that's what you'd have to spend back then to make a studio album. Well, that was what we did for that one. So just think of this. So now you can do your own stuff at home, and you're practically expected to. The bands basically do their own stuff. Some of them go to studios, some of them get some producers, or they might hire a guy like me. I've got a band that's talking to me about me. They're going to track their own stuff wherever they're going to do it, and then they're sending me the waves, and I'm going to do the mix for their album without them even being ever showing up. They're in a whole other
Yeah, they're
state,
going to send you the stem cells.
but it's not. Yeah, so but it's much cheaper um now, and you can make your own. Like I make my own albums. I don't have to go to the studio. I've
Yeah,
considered doing it because everybody says, "Why don't you go try such and such producer or whatever?" And I go, I would if I wasn't doing what I'm doing with Dyerwulf is so particularly unusual that I'm writing it as I'm sitting here recording it. I sit right here, do my bass tracks and my vocals, and so I can't. How would I sit there with somebody else in the room and go, wait a minute, okay, I like this line, let's sing that, la 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 la. No, take it back out, take it back out. Sometimes I'm doing it so fast that I can't see how somebody else could sit there and do it. But anyway, as far as the whole scene goes, there's just so many bands now, and he's dead right about it. I mean, the way you did things back then, there wasn't any Facebook, there wasn't any internet or anything like that. You had your songs, and then you made your album, and then you
or
toured, put
do
all your
what you did, or do
yeah,
what you did. Make your album and go on tour the same day.
yeah. We never.
I
I
them
didn't
out.
even bother to keep a place to live after a while. I would, all my stuff was in storage in like a 10 by 10 foot warehouse, and eventually I would just pull out of the apartment I was in or whatever and just leave it in there. And I would have a really piece of crap car that I would buy for like $200, and I would abandon it in an apartment complex parking lot and hope it was there when I got back. If it wasn't, no big deal, because we're leaving again in a week anyway. All I got to do is couch surf at friends' houses till we leave. Our equipment was stored at the rehearsal. We had a rehearsal area, room in a giant warehouse full of rehearsal rooms. So there's that stuff. My stuff's in storage. I didn't really have to have a place to live. So if you stay gone enough, you don't. But so everybody say we can't afford to tour, and I'd go, I can't afford to not. That is my job. So to this day, so here's the thing. So we're getting to this. I'm gonna go ahead and drive this to this thing because you might ask it anyway. So now a lot of people say I can't make any money in music. And I tell them I don't make money by playing shows. Is that what you're saying? And they'll say, yeah, I don't make any money playing shows. I go, I don't either. Here's you don't if you want to make a music living now, you need to really super diversify. I'm talking about underground people. I'm not talking about the upper 14% of people who make some kind of a part-time living, or upper 1% that
Oh
are like
yeah, the underground scene
I'm
is.
not talking about, you know, Taylor Swift and Def Leppard and stuff. I'm not talking Metallica. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
Not
about,
Metallica.
I'm talking about us, the regular folks. So here's what you do. I do make a living at this 24/7. This is all I do. But I do get some royalties, so I have a history of that. But also, some of my friends, for instance, I don't teach music, but a lot of my friends who do make a living at playing music, they teach music, they run sound for other bands. They have I have a studio, I have a record label, I work with more than one band, I produce people, they pay me for that. Um, so and so. So a nickel and 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 a nickel can become a living. And that becomes you've made it be your job. But what I did is I diversified. I have a lot of experience and there is value to what I've done and learned how to do. But it's not going to, none of it's going to pay me all of it for one thing. I have to do many things. I do paintings. I like to paint, and I'm not saying they're great, but on my merch tables when I tour, I carry a painting with me, usually one or two. They're signed and dated, and they're by me. It's a very personalized, one of a kind thing. I sell that too. So there's something else I've added. I just try to find many, many, many things that I can do that other people might want, and put it all together, and I make some kind of a living. And that's how I do it.
Yeah,
I
you
definitely
see,
don't depend on going to shows and playing. That's the last place. Merch table is one thing, but getting paid from the door in a split, that's just, oh yeah, I got to go back. I forgot to pick up our $14 or whatever it is. I don't even count on that stuff. I'll get what I can get out of it, but that's not the mainstay. I make a lot more money doing studio work than I
oh
do in
yeah, I mean, just being hired out for a producer, you're probably getting for one song, what you're going about 500, 600.
No, I'm not. Well, it depends on if you're the label. If you're on my label, or if you're an artist on Black Doomba Records, then then it's in our contract that
Yeah,
you can come here and record for half price of my normal thing. And it's stated there exactly what the rate is. And all the specifics are in a clause. But yeah, you can come here and record for much less. And the reason is because you're very valuable to me. You're hitting a home run. If you're on my label and you come record with me, you're hitting a home run because now my name's on it too. And don't you think I want to promote that even more? So yeah, it's kind of a home run to come and record with me and be on my label. Now I'm really interested. So, you know, I try to encourage it, but sometimes I'm not the person for that band, so I'll send them to someone else. Go, I yeah, I could do this, but I think you're really the way I would record you is not the way I think you want to be recorded, and I think you should go to so and so, and I'll refer two or three other people. You have to be realistic about like what if you're going to produce somebody, you have to be kind of the type they need, I think.
yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
like to produce people, like for instance, I do not like to produce people in a live setting. I think it's horrible. That's my opinion. And
Individual tracks.
I like doing individual tracks. I think it's much tighter and much better in the long run.
Oh yeah, you
You can
got
ask
more
different people
control.
different things. I mean, I know engineers who are excellent, have excellent studios. They are excellent at what they do, and they'll advertise, "We do it however you want to do it." Now, personally, I think that's an awful idea because it can be terrible. But this, like the one I'm thinking of, he does a great job of everything. But I don't particularly want to record people live. I just have a whole different way I'm comfortable with. I'll tell you this, like, okay, so I went through Pro Tools school years ago. Actually went to Pro Tools school. and took all their classes and all that stuff. And one of the guys teaching the class sat up there, and he's a main producer that's on a lot of big name stuff. He said, he said, if you ask 20 engineers, people who own studios, if you ask 20 guys the same question of how this is done right, you'll get 20 different answers. And he goes, you know what? They're all correct. He goes, you're not doing it wrong. You're just doing it a different way than other people. Or how, if a band doesn't like, they go, well, the last place we did this, and the place for that did this. Well, that's what you're used to. Here we do this. It's not a wrong way. It's just a way. And I've put out plenty of things that sound good. So I'm happy with how I do it.
If anyone wants you to produce and send you their tracks, how do they get a hold of you, Tommy?
The best way is in email at blackdoombarecords.com, or blackdoombarecords@gmail.com. Or you can go on Facebook and simply message me. It's better to message my personal Facebook rather than message, say, Hallows Eve or something like that, because I don't look at those as much. I do look at them, but I'll be like a week behind or something.
I got you.
Message me directly. I'm looking at that every couple of hours.
All right.
And I do my emails every day. So if you go to, you can even do Tommy Stewart at Tommy Stewart's Dyerwulf at gmail.com. But I look at my emails every single day, every morning at the same time, and clear all of them out. So you won't go 24 hours without me answering you.
All right, cool. So what do you got lined up for your groups right now on the label?
And I got some good stuff coming out. So this Friday night for instance, July 19th at 7 p.m., you can go on the Black Doomba YouTube channel. If this isn't out by then, it's okay. It'll be up anyway. So Thunderbird Divine has this amazing video of their new single, Last Laugh, that's going to be up. And it's quite literally one of the best videos I've ever been able to have on the label or whatever. I was amazed at it. I watched the first 30 seconds of it before it even came out, and I just stopped it and went, wow, this is good. I ran and got my wife together. You need to come look at this. You need to come look at this. It is just amazing. So I'm so glad that they're putting that out. And there's going to be another single for them in the future and another video. And then we have the pre-sale in August. So it's not very long before the pre-sale starts and people can actually buy the album. It's released August 30th. So that's them. Tommy Stewart's Dyerwulf. You can already hear my first single one way or the other. It technically doesn't come out until Wednesday, but quite honestly, there's so much press already about it that it's already out if you just look it up. But officially it's out on Wednesday, whatever, it's already escaped. Then I'll have so through the summer, I've got all the Tommy Stewart's Dyerwulf stuff. I've got a video coming out for that, and I've got another single, another video, and then the release date for that is September 13th. After that, I've got Grave Next Door. I did produce that. I'm very happy about how it came out. So Grave Next Door's second album will come out. All their singles and videos will be coming out through September and October. The release date, I believe, is November 13th. But I think the pre-sale starts just before Halloween. Not on Halloween, but just before it. A little advice for anybody releasing albums: don't release your album on Halloween and try to be tricky, because there's so much traffic right at Halloween that really you're just going to be buried unless you're Danzig, or it's the remake of a Cramps album or something,
or King Diamond.
Something, yeah, or King Diamond. They can drop stuff on Halloween and people pay attention. But Clutch Cargo and the Pressure Plates, and I'm making that up, but the whoever's or whatever, you're lost. Just do it like the week before at least, or the week after or something. Just don't do it then. Everybody tries to be tricky. I go, no. Us in the underground, you need to take the off days. You can look up and see what, just go online and look up releases coming, and there's different places that'll show you the release schedule all through the year, and try to pick one. This is my tip: try to pick a week where there might be 40 releases that day, but say only 8 of them are in your genre, then that's a pretty good week for you because your people are going to be looking at those 8. Now, if there's like 20, you might want to look and see if there's a better week. But yeah, less than 10, that's probably a good week for you. If you're Doom, for it, I'm Doom. So this label is Doom metal. So I'm always kind of attaching myself to that. I'm looking for that
When you
stuff.
went to the switch from thrash to doom, I mean, how did that happen for you, Tommy?
Honestly, I'm glad you asked that because it's an interesting question. I battle around in my own head. I had so many ideas during being in Hallows Eve, which was a solid thrash band, but we were a group, and so we kind of what would you say, censored each other's ideas, so that the cream of the ideas actually came out. We all had really crappy ideas sometimes that the other two would say, no, no, we're not we're banging trash can lids and doing what? That was me that came up with that craziness. I wanted to use piano on something. I got a big old no. At the time, I think it was all guitars or whatever. So anyway, how did I? So I had here it is. I had lots of ideas that were outside of what we were doing. So did the other guys, and that I always wanted to do. I was a fan of these things too. I mean, we're recording a plunging to Megadeth on Tales of Terror. They go right out in the car and slap in a Black Sabbath meandering, thing. So I like that too. But I'm having to do this one little cage, and I felt caged too sometimes. That is me playing thrash, and to this day. So in Dyerwulf, so I moved forward and explored other things I want to do. Like in Bloody Gyres, we played in various time signatures. I started being able to. I'd have to kind of show the band sometimes. Go, this is 7/8. This is 5/4. Just add a beat. Just add a beat. You know, just think of it like 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh. Just, with 2/8 or something. And I'd say, all you got to do is just add the extra. Don't even think about it. Just if you do it enough, you won't even think about it. So we'd start doing all this stuff, and it was a lot of fun. Sometimes we kind of slowed it down. Some of it was pretty perky though. So in Direwolf now, I kind of have a mix. So I'm getting to explore this sort of a Shadow in the Well, which, by the way, if you order any of my albums, such as the Tommy Stewart's Direwolf, Firewolf 1 album that I was showing you the other day, this thing, you get a single thrown in it. This is the single for Shadow in the Well, which was the first song on Doomsday Deferred. It's a glow in the dark, 7-inch, 70-gram single with a song from the first album, Lilith Crimson Deed. The first inside A is in the well from that. I'm throwing it in on this. So that's going into the when you order the EP, you also get the single, just and a poster. You're getting stuff. Extra stuff. So it's a really cool package. But on Firewolf, like for instance, the last album was so kind of morose. There was some energetic stuff on there, but I went from Shadow in the Well being sort of a Sabbath worship to the next thing, To Try Yomp, which is in 7/8 time throughout. It's a kind of a stomper, and it was, you wouldn't know it listening to it probably, but it's a little King Crimson oriented. But yeah, kind of. And then so there's, and then the third song of the album, I even had one critic say, what happened? We were riding along in the car. It was like everything was great. We're all having a good time. And it's like you stopped the car and kicked us out. The third song was a sort of a jam between me and the drummer that was really fast, about 2 minutes long. And it's instrumental, and it's me just playing as if I'm in a thrash metal band, along with the drummer accompaniment. That's all. It's just me having a lot of fun. And that's when it became not Doom for a second again. And I go, so I'm kind of a mix now. It's Doom, no doubt. Well, in the Firewolf stuff, what I did is I decided to do the 2 EP. Instead of having one album, I'm going to do a 2 EP album that's themed all the kind of the same. And the songs are mainly short, a little more energetic than the first 2 Direwolf albums. So you'll see sort of shades of Hallows Eve in there. I'm still the same guy writing. I'm just writing different stuff. That's all. A lot of bands have different things they do. I think a lot of people mess. I don't think it's good for a band to just be this one thing for 20 albums. It just I don't like it.
You know, a lot of people and a lot of labels back then did not like the idea that when I wrote my music, it was never the same. Each song had a unique sound, a unique vibe. It would go from gothic to death thrash or to death metal. And a lot of labels did not like that. And I like the freedom of being able to create the way I want to create. And
Right.
and you do too.
I like more or less theming the albums to a certain flavor, but don't think my next album is going to sound exactly like the one I'm working on now. I'm so after the Firewolf project, which is 2024, I have this EP. 2025, I have another EP. In 2026, I'm already working on a third full album for that year. Now, the stuff that just kind of pops out of me that's more like a 10-minute song and has some light and shade to it, and there might be some trudging and everything. That stuff's going to be on the third album. These two albums are going to be more, but see, I themed them. And I did, Hallows Eve, there was a bit of that. Tales of Terror was all the songs told a little tale of terror. Death and Insanity, every single song was about a different type of death. There was suicide, Plea of the Aged, about dying when you're old. There was all the songs had something to do with death. I know. At the time, it didn't seem cliche because nobody had done it before, and we were writing those songs in 84, 85. Had I known that there was going to be a million albums about death one day, I probably wouldn't have done it. But I know a guy. I know a guy who said, what I want to see is a drinking game for every time you guys say death on that album. Like you have to have a shot every time Hallows Eve says death on Death and Insanity. I said, oh, you would be obliterated. But what's odd is in Monument, the very next album, we had made a conscious decision. If you cared to come through the album, you won't find the word death at all, not even once. That was a conscious decision. Death and Insanity was about various forms of death. Monument was not. So we were very clear about our themes.
Oh, that's cool.
And I still like to
that.
do that. So I still like albums like that. But you know, when I sign bands, I kind of look for that their album has a consistency in it. It doesn't have to sound all the same. Maybe variety is their consistency. Kind of, you got to really think outside the box with some of these. Another band that's coming up after Grave Next Door is Megaton Communion out of Ohio. And I think they've got a real good buzz about them. And I think people really like the album. They're more of a solid Doom band. When you hear in their album, you go, that's Doom. We got their number. I mean, that's what it is. It's probably the album that's coming out this year on Black Doom that's the most solid, it's Doom. That's it. That's Megaton Communion. If you want that, there it is. And the band I've got after that I just signed that I'm very proud of is Black Moon Cult. They're also out of Ohio. Apparently I hang around in Ohio a lot. They're on the Michigan-Ohio line. Grave Next Door is from Michigan. So that area is churning it out.
There was a group that I saw one of their videos. I can't remember the name, but it's like they're driving around, they get lost.
That's Grave Next Door.
Okay. Yeah, I like them.
I love their videos. And in fact, we could have come out with their album a little earlier than we do in fall. We could have actually moved it up a couple of months. The only reason I'm waiting is I'm waiting for them to turn in a video they're doing their way rather than just putting out one that's like a lyric or something, because they go all out. They even go to like film at certain states to get the feel of the state, whatever. They hop in the van like they're going on tour and go all the way to Texas just to make a video for As Heavy as Texas is the name of the song. They're from Michigan. They drove all the way there just to make the film. Yeah, the one you're talking about, they went to Tennessee to do that one where they stop on the side of the road. It's called Witches Head. They stop on the side of the road and there's a couple of young
Kids.
teenage girls selling
Lemonade.
lemonade. And when they drink the lemonade, they start Steppenwolf starts playing, and there's like 3 minutes of theatrics before their song even starts. They start seeing like red and yellow teddy bears dancing in the air and all kind of dumb junk, and, and like, don't drink the lemonade. Yeah, they pretend like the band broke down again and all that stuff. And there's some lemonade over here. We're so hot. And then they have that, and then their song eventually starts. So the song's about them hallucinating, I guess. I don't know. It's just watch the thing. It's like a 10-minute long mini movie. The song's probably 5 minutes in the middle of it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely like them. By the way, did you hear about TikTok last night? And we got 10 minutes left.
What?
Yeah, we got 10 minutes left.
Huh. I thought you said TikTok had 10
minutes.
Oh,
no, 10 minutes of TikTok. Last night I got a feed saying that they got banned in the United States. They got to appeal.
I haven't been there yet. I've been, like I said, I've been doing some things I was off the grid for about 2 days, and I haven't made any posts on TikTok.
Well, I added you to Pure Metal Gods magazine on TikTok. I'll send you the link over.
Yeah, cool, man. Thanks.
Did you get any of the videos that I linked over to you on TikTok?
I don't think I haven't been on TikTok. I'm about to do sort of my social rundown, and I haven't even been over there.
And you haven't paid attention.
No, I've been off the grid, literally,
and
phone off and everything.
I linked half of the video segment on Facebook to you. I think I got the Tommy Stewart correctly on Facebook, but I'm not too sure. And do you know how many? There's one page that was just like no photo. So I was like,
my TikTok's on. I can upload it. I can upload a.
No, it's on. It won't be banned until the 2025.
Oh, all right. Well, then we got it till then. All right.
I know. I was disappointed too. So got a winner last night.
Getting a lot of views over there, and
so someone won the tapestry last night. I'm still waiting on 4 more contestants. So someone got your signature.
Yeah, right, the signature.
By the way, thank you again for that.
Yeah, you taught me how to do that. I was like, I don't even know how he's doing that, but then you showed me
with your
this would come in handy one day. I kept this over here for like 3 years or 4 years. Somebody gave this to me and said, you'll need this one day. And whatever. And I stuck it in my pen jar. And last week was the first time I could use it. I went, so you can sign an autograph from home. I got all kind of dumb junk over here.
But you know what? It works even for now when you tell your groups, hey, you know what? You need to digitally sign something for me.
Right. Well, with the bands, I usually use DocuSign, so I can send the contracts. They can sign it. They each get their own copy in the email, and it's all valid and legal and everything.
Yeah, I do the same.
Something for people, yeah, that was new to me to do it online like that. I was like, "What's?" So you place it on there then?
Yeah, it was great.
If I've gotten an autographs for somebody, like I went to Days of the Dead convention or whatever, and got someone's autograph, I kind of enjoy the experience of in person doing it. Is the only thing about that, because I don't really collect autographs, but I do kind of have some from showing up to conventions. It's just usually actors and that, but or yeah, like actors and whatever.
Hey Tommy, where can I get a Black Doomba shirt?
Where can you? Indeed, on Bandcamp, at the Black Doomba Bandcamp, like Doomba Records Bandcamp. If you go to the merch page, there's t-shirts. There's t-shirts available there right now for Black Doomba Records. This very one I'm wearing. With everybody going, ah, it's Black Doomba. And look, there's a giant Doomba bot chasing everybody and destroying the city. And, you know, he probably tells.
All right,
So
cool.
you can get it there, and you can also get Tommy Stewart Dyerwulf shirts there, and you can also get Grave Next Door shirts there. I just kind of started having bands t-shirts there, so I'm trying to get shirts out of Thunderbird Divine, Black Moon Call, just Grave Next. Oh, I've got Grave Next Door on there, but I'm trying to get like one shirt from each band as they make them. So that's going to start filling up there. We also have test pressings for sale in the merch side. I've got test pressings from a bunch of bands over there, and then there's a bunch of stuff I haven't put up yet. I just got so much to do. I'm trying to get it up. I've got hats, I've got patches, I've got Hallows Eve patches I haven't put up yet. People, and somebody just tried to get one, said, I wish I knew where to get those. I said, I got them. I just didn't put them up yet.
Tommy, do you got any do you got a Death and Insanity on vinyl still?
Yeah, I have to go find copies too. And then I go find copies 1 or 2 or 3, and then I put them on my merch table when I go tour. So people come see Tommy Stewart's Direwolf. They can also get Hallows Eve albums, Hallows Eve patches, and anything from my career. Any band I've been in, I try to have stuff there. But I always have something Hallows Eve on my table. I think I'm all out of Tales of Terror right now. Somebody just picked up, I had a sealed one. It was 180 gram, so it wasn't an original, but it was a sealed Tales of Terror Hallows Eve album. And he traded it with me. Normally I would sell it because I had to buy it. I had to buy it for it to exist. Usually just put $5 extra on it and put it on the merch table. I just want people to be able to have it. I traded it for an original pressing of St. Valentine's Day Massacre with Mutterhead and Girl School, because I really like that EP.
See, I'm trying to find the Death and Insanity LP.
I'm pretty sure I have at least 1 or 2, 3 copies of that. I believe they're in the merch box ready to go to the next. When we go to, so Tennessee Metal Devastation Festival is October the 5th in Jackson, Tennessee. And I'll be there with the Black Doomba Records tent. 13 bands, all day festival, outdoors. There were 1,600 people there last year. And so if you go there, I will have the tent up. There will be Hallows Eve albums there. But it's a whole thing. There's going to be like 40 vendors. I'll just be one of them. And we'll have our tent and everything. And I'll have all the bands on the label. I'll have all their stuff there. So yeah, come to that. And come up to the table and talk to us. Me and my wife will both be there running the table, eating hot dogs and or whatever they got there. Watching the band.
A good time, right?
And speaking of, so Tennessee Metal Devastation Festival, one of the bands on Black Doomba is on the festival. I think around 6:00 is what it looks like on the lineup. I'm not sure. You just have to go. But Ember, whose album came out last December, we'll have their stuff there. But they're playing, so that's your chance to see them at a big festival.
I'll try and make it up there. Right now, I'm down here in Laredo. Are you guys ever coming down to Texas yet?
All the time.
At what part?
We played up and down the east half of Texas for about 2 weeks, back and forth, up and down. I'm very familiar with the whole eastern half. Then I tell you, I had about 3 days off though at one point in the middle of it, and I separated off from everybody and went and stayed all around Houston and even in Kingsland. I went and visited all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre film locations that still exist. I went and stayed in Kingsland where they'd moved the house.
Yeah.
Now, in my little resort room, I could open my front door. It had a screen front door and a porch and everything. I could open my front door at 7 a.m, sit there and sip coffee, and I'm staring at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house. It's right there across the street. I'm like, it looks so peaceful right now. But yeah, that's what I did on my days off. I went and visited film locations. I went to the gas station. They have chili. I bought chili and some barbecue sandwiches and
You've
stuff.
been to the one in Bastrop, right?
That's the gas station. I went to
Yeah.
the one drop.
No,
And then
no,
I went over
it's
to
changed
the
now.
cemetery.
Before it used to look original, like how the movie was, and then they changed it up.
Well, yeah, it's an actual operating restaurant
Yeah.
now. They got the van duplicate in the background and all that stuff. But then I went to the cemetery that they opened the movie with, and I think that was on the northern side of Austin.
But have you been to the original house?
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I'm talking about. If you go up to in the hill country and go to, I think it's Kingsborough or Kingsland or whatever.
Yeah.
There was a resort right there. You can say it called the Elks Lodge or whatever. And it's this kind of this old timey little resort thing with cabin doors